medical doctor. However, I am a registered nurse with my bachelor's in the science of nursing. But I am not here to give you any medical advisory concerning your ailments. I am just here to share my natural herb journey, my natural alternatives of how it has benefited my life, my body, my mind, my spirit, my soul, my well-being. So, let's begin. So today, well, first of all, I want to say hey to my natural beauties. Check out my hair. I am still water only for my hair. And I am 4 months in, and it is still doing great. I got it up in a bun today because I'm just too lazy to do anything with it. But that's how my natural hair is going with the water only. Okay, so today I want to talk about my herb journey and how it has benefited my skin, my knees, and now I'm working on fibroids, hormonal balance, and things like that. So I'm going to try to make this video as short as I can, but I have a lot to talk about. So, and I think you will find it quite interesting. So first of all, I'm going to start out with my skin. At 43, my skin went haywire. I mean, it initially broke out with little teeny bumps around my my cheeks, and then it started to hit my chin. And I had a few here and there on my forehead. So when that happened, I knew it was hormonal. I can tell you one thing the doctors had started me on that I noticed after they started me on, that's what happened. And part of it is hormonal. I was 43 years old, going into, I'm not menopause yet, but I'm perimenopausal. They started me on something called the progesterone only pill. And the reason why they started me on that was because I had a blood clot. And so they didn't want to give me any estrogen. And so they wanted to, they started me on that because of the bleeding, to slow down my bleeding when I had my menstrual cycles. But they started me on that because of the blood clot. So I toured with that because I'm like, I can't take this pill anymore because it's just breaking my skin out really bad, really, really bad. Not only that, my skin became like keloid type bumps with a lot of pus in it, and it was just gross. And as you can see, I got some, it looks a little worse on camera, but I got some dark residue left from it. But they told me I would have really bad acne scar, and I have a little bump here. That's just a little bump, and that was a little bump at one time. But pretty much I don't have acne anymore like I did. And even my under here, my chin, something was swollen up under there. And so I had went to the dermatologist, I went to the doctors, even the dentist. No one could tell me what was wrong with me. And all they wanted to do was push medication. Everybody wanted to put me on an antibiotic. And I did. I took an antibiotic. It made me sick as crap. But that did not help. That did not help. It was a systemic problem. They was not getting to the root of the problem. I knew it was hormonal because I was having some issues with my ovary, and I have a history of fibroids. And also I knew it was hormonal because 22 years ago I had my son, and my skin had broke out really bad after I had him, and I had broke out all over my face. And it was kind of like a keloidy thing like it was now. And the doctor had to even go in and laser. I had this big, huge one right here, and he had to go in and laser it. And fortunately, I didn't have any scarring left from that. So I knew it was hormonal because of what happened to me when my son was born. So, given that, after many years of having acne, adult acne, just regular acne, um, I was going to the dermatologist, and my regimen of choice that had put me on was clindamycin and retin-A topical. Well, it would have my skin on fleek. I mean, looking the bombs. But at the end of the day, it was not solving the systemic problem. So, also, I was frustrated with the process because my clindamycin was $120 with insurance, and then I would always have to fight with the insurance company every single time with the retin-A because I was over 20 years old and they thought I was using it for cosmetic uses. And I was so sick of having to fight them every time because other than that, it would cost $300. But they would give it to me and I would get it for 20. So here I am going to every 2 to 3 months to get a prescription for $140 to uh, clear up my skin that was not really getting to the root of the problem. And so also when there was a lapse, if I ever missed, I would have to keep it going. But if I ever missed my regimen, then my skin would break out again and it would start all over again. Um, if anybody know about clindamycin and retin-A, it peels your skin. So that's a 2 to 3 week process where your skin is peeling, trying to get into the normal, trying to get your skin to clear back up. So all those things was just like, I was just outdone. But when my skin had broke out really bad this time, they wanted to put me on one of those drugs that have a side effects where you suicide and depression and all. And I said, no, absolutely not. I just have to deal with it. No, I'm not going on that. Um, so those were the issues with my skin, and I just want to thank everybody that saw my skin in horrible condition. Not question or tell me my skin is broken out real bad because people don't need that. That you're already feeling like your self-esteem is kind of low because your skin is all broke out. And I just refused to wear makeup and things like that because I wanted to get to the root of the problem. And so I started doing research and I found out about the House of Health. And it is a local apothecary store that's right around the corner from me. So I started going in there, and there was this white Caucasian lady, where white and Caucasian is the same. She was very knowledgeable. She's salt and pepper hair. I don't even know her name, but I was in there every week. Um, she started telling me the things to get for my skin, and the first thing she told me to do was get the burdock root. And so I got the burdock root, and so I started um, making tea from the burdock root. And I started drinking. She told me it was not going to taste good, but just drink it. And I did, and the rest is history. So I started going in there every week because I started doing my own research, and I started adding to my regimen. And the next thing I got was yellow dock. Now let me tell you what burdock and yellow dock does. Burdock is an excellent blood purifier and liver toxic for chronic skin problems such as eczema, acne, psoriasis, and herpes. Good diuretic. Combination for acne is burdock root, red clover, and dandelion. Now let me tell you what yellow dock does. Yellow dock is rich in minerals, especially iron, astringent and blood purifier, useful in diseases of the blood and skin elements. So as time went on, I can't tell you all the herbs that I use, but I do have a collection, and I do have a collection over here. I just started adding to the regimen, and look at my skin. This is a testimony. Oh my God. If you ask, you shall receive. God will make a way, and he will give you the knowledge to heal your own body. Sorry, I didn't mean to say heal your own body, but he will give you the knowledge to improve your own body. Um, so that's what I did, and I, like I said, I thank God for all my friends and family that love me through this process. Well, my sister, rest her soul, she was like, "Have you seen anybody about your skin? What's wrong with your skin?" But anyway, yeah, my skin had was broken out before she died, but it got worse after she died. It got even worse because and I think it was stress. My body was just deteriorating before its eyes, and I just think it was stress as well. Um, it was just a lot of things that was going on with my body. So the lump that was under my chin is gone. It was sore at sometimes. My face was becoming a little bit deformed on here. It was swollen. It was like this little whatever it was pushing. No one ever told me what it was, but it's gone. It's gone, and my skin is so much better. So now I want to talk about my knees. Okay, I fell at work. About 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, I was getting out the van, and the steps are high on the van, and I had on high heels, and my heel got caught in the steps, and I fell flat into the asphalt, and I hit my right knee, and of course I went to what is it employee health. I went to employee health, do the worksman comp thing or whatever. And they did an X-ray. Well, of course, on the X-ray you can't see tissue damage or cartilage damage or tendons and stuff like that. You can't see those things on an X-ray. And of course, they're not going to pay for you to get an MRI. But my knee was really out of whack for many years, and I was an avid runner way before Black Girls Run came along. I was really slim. And that's what kept my weight down because I had a track right across the street from where I live, and I ran every day. But after I fell, my knee was affected and I could not run anymore. And I felt like I had a torn meniscus from what people explain what that feels like. That's what I felt like I had. And um, it was affecting me. I have steps when you come in the front, when you come in the back. I have steps when you come through the garage, inside my house. So it's just steps everywhere inside my house. There's no escaping. So some days I would have trouble getting up the steps. I would have trouble going down the steps. My husband would have to help me some days, especially when it rained. Because then I fell at work again like 2 years ago. And I fell in the lab. There was a leaking sink, and I did not see the water. And of course, I had on heels that day, and my legs went split in half, and I fell on my left knee. And of course, they say, you want an X-ray? No, I don't want an X-ray because it ain't gonna tell me nothing. And how about they're gonna send me to physical therapy without even knowing what my issue was? And I was just like, that don't even make any sense. I could be doing more damage by going to physical therapy. That's not making any sense to me. So I went and I did about six. I went about 6 times or whatever. It did not improve. If anything, it got worse. So I started walking in the mornings and around the track. And that was so painful to walk. But I was like, I got to do something. Because either if I laid around, it's going to hurt. If I moved it, it was going to hurt. So initially starting around the track, it would hurt. And then it would get better as I went around. But after I was done, I would be back in pain again. And so, of course, I started researching the herbs and see what would help improve my needs. And I can tell you right now, to God be the glory, My knees are pain free. Do you hear me? Pain free. It rained yesterday. Pain free. I don't have any pains. I can go upstairs, downstairs. I feel like a young chickadee. I feel like a young chickadee, and I just thank God. He will give you the answers. You got to ask, and He'll give it to you. You got to put in, you have to take, now you have to be an active participant in your own health. Your own health. You got to be an active participant. You just can't expect something to happen without nothing. So, my knees, I can't say healed, I can't say cured, but I'm pain free. So, I have great movement in my knees. Um, Nothing hurts. Nothing hurts. Um, so I thank God for that. I wanted to give you my story about, like I said, my skin and my female problems went hand in hand. I'm gonna talk about my female problems in a minute, but my husband and I, we went to Canada for our anniversary a few years back, and that was like, it was an excellent trip, but it was the worst trip for me because I was so sick, and I was so filled with mucus and phlegm. Um, I was just miserable, 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 miserable. And that's when I determined too that I said I've got to do something. I got to find another remedy because I am filled with crap. And when you feel with mucus and phlegm and all, that slows down your body flow of your blood, your your systems, everything slows everything down, and you cannot. Um, you're just sick. You're just constantly sick in your body. So that's when I started too. Like, I gotta do something. My skin, like I said, my skin was, everything was sluggish. Everything was full of pus and phlegm and mucus, and I was like, something ain't right in my body. So that's why I have been on my herb journey. Um, okay, so we talked about my skin. We talked about um my needs. Okay, now I have had fibroids for, well, back in 2008, 2009, I had the procedure where they go in and, oh, let me tell you what fibroids are. Fibroids are basically benign tumors that grow in your uterus. And it affects a lot of African American women more than other races. And they don't truly know what causes uterine fibroids. I what I hear is stress. Um, Sometimes it can be the food you eat, um, sweets, sugar. I know, hey, I love me some Starbucks. I love the Java chip Frappuccino. Do you know how many calories that thing got in it? I love that. So, I have sometimes two or three a week. So I had to cut back on that. I had to cut back on those because I felt like they was contributing to my fibroids growing. But anyway, my fibroids, I had the procedure done back in 2000, I think it was 8 or 2009, where they go in and they cut the blood flow off to the tumors, but they don't take them out. So it makes them shrink. And so it did the job initially. And there was a few he could not get to because of the anatomy of um my anatomy. So he couldn't get all of them, but he got the bulk of them. Well, fast forwarding, um, I've been getting ultrasounds every year, like clockwork, every year, every year, every year. Not because it's a routine thing, but because I need them. Because I have ovary pain. I have ovary pain, and they'll go in and they'll look at it and they're like, "Oh, you're fine, nothing's wrong, everything's normal, blah blah blah." They give me the size of my ovaries, or the sizes of my fibroids. Have they grown any? Well, for the last 2 years, they couldn't find my ovary. Okay, I've been getting transvaginal ultrasounds. I've been getting regular ultrasounds, and now here 2 years later, you're gonna tell me you can't find my ovary, and then you're gonna tell me it is normal? What? No. You're gonna tell me my ovary, not finding my ovary is normal? I mean, do I look like I have stupid written on my forehead? And I was like, I told the lady, I said, that ain't normal. That is not normal that you. Oh yes, it is. No, it's not. If you don't see my ovaries for the last 100 years, and you're gonna tell me you can't find it now? What? Okay, so my ovary on my left side has gotten worse and worse, as far as the pain. I mean, I'm just like, something ain't right. And then sometimes I have like, this might be too much information, but I have a chocolate cyst. They call it the chocolate cyst, where it bursts and then it's like a dark, like oily drainage. Well, I have a chocolate cyst quite often, especially after my menstrual, because it's always there. And then they're like, "Oh, let's get an ultrasound," and then they tell me everything's okay. Okay, so this time I went to the doctor and they did a transvaginal ultrasound. Okay, again, they couldn't find my left ovary. And the lady was like, "Oh, she remembered me because it ain't normal not to find your left ovary." So of course she remembered me, for one. For two, I'm telling her what the issue is, and that's not normal. So yeah, she gonna remember me. And I was like, so they're searching, they look, and they still can't find it. And I'm just like, these folks don't know what the heck they doing. This is why I'm sick of coming to the doctors. So eventually she said, "Okay, well, let's just look on the outside of your let's just do a one on the outside." So they do it on the outside, and bam, they find my ovary. And it's way up here out of place. And then she goes, "Oh, we found your ovary. Oh, you know your body." And I'm like, "Yes, I know my body." And she said it several times, "You know your body. You I said, "Yeah, I'm not crazy." Um but yeah, it's my fibroid has grown twice in size, and it's pushing my ovary up. And sometimes it feels like my ovary is twisting. That's what it feels like to me. Um but yeah, they told me this time that my fibroid is like 2 or 3 times in size it was from last year. So I got like little grapefruits and apples and oranges floating in my body. I got like um tuplets, you know. I got little babies. I can remember I gave a when my sister died, I went and spoke at this church, and my other sister was like, she texted me, she was like, "Are you pregnant and just not telling anybody?" I was so pissed. I was just like, is she trying to hurt my feelings? But yes, that is why my stomach had grown, because my fibroids are growing. So I got like these little babies growing inside of me that ain't babies. So now I am drinking my herbs tea on drinking my herbs tea. I drink this every day to help shrink my fibroids. Check out my name, Cassandra. A friend of ours made these for me and my husband Stillers. Yes. Okay, so I'm drinking my herbs tea, my fibroid herbs tea. And I also drink spring water. Now, with herbs, you got to make sure that you are drinking enough water to replace, because some of them can be like a diuretic, which depletes your potassium, your sodium, your things like that. So, if you do decide to do herbs, make sure you do a real good research, because I use it as medicinal, you know. So herbs do have side effects as well. So just make sure you do your research. But I drink spring water because it has a lot of minerals in it. So make sure you still drink a lot of water, because some of the herbs can be diuretic, just like the medications that you take. Um so this is chaseberry tree. This is chase treeberry. I'm sorry, chase treeberry, and this is a this is can be very medicinal. Okay, so basically, what I do is I put it in 100% proof alcohol, which is really like 50%, and you can do any herb like this. And it's a tincture. It's a tincture, and it's very medicinal, like I said, and you can put it under your tongue and it goes straight to your bloodstream. Now, the chase treeberry, what the chase treeberry does, it regulates your estrogen and progesterone. It's a hormone balancer. So, that's one of the things that is in my herb tea this morning. So I just drink this herb tea throughout the day, and at nighttime I drink chamomile to help me go to sleep, because I truly believe the fibroids have been pressing on my spine, on my nerves, and it's painful in my back and around my ribs sometimes. So I drink that at night to help me go to sleep, because I get on my husband's nerves. I like, baby, can you rub my back? It's itching, or can you scratch my back? So, and he have to get up like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I give him a break, because either I toss and turn, and for some reason it bothers me some throughout the day, but at nighttime it's just like it just be like rubbing me the wrong way at nighttime. It just aggravates me at night. So that's all I wanted to say about that. And you got to be your own advocate. You got to be your own participant in your own health, and you can't rely on the government, because the government, you can't rely on Obamacare, health insurance, and all these other things. I'm not saying just be totally irresponsible, but you're gonna have to be an active participant in your own health and find out what's wrong with you. Because like now when you go to the doctor, they're looking at one thing. You come in and you say, okay, prime example, my ovary is hurting. Okay, they just gonna look at my ovary, but what's causing my ovary to hurt? What's causing my ovary to hurt is I have fibroids. So they're not looking at you as a holistic person, because the insurance company is saying we're gonna only treat what they come in for, what they complain about. We're not gonna look at the holistic problem, and that is what's wrong with our medical industry now, is that the insurance companies, because I am by no means knocking my doctors or my nurses, because I'm a part of that community, but our hands are tied now, because the insurance companies are running the medical field. They're telling us what we need to do. This is what you need to do. You need to push medicine. You need to look at just one thing. Whatever they come in and complain about, that's all you need to look at, when it could be something else that's causing that. So we're not looked at holistically anymore. So you're going to have to start being an active participant in your own health and looking at your body and understanding how your body works and what's going on with you, and start doing some research on um, how to improve your own body and save yourself some money, some headaches, some pain, some misery, um, and just taking control. You are in control of you, period. In your whole entire life, you are in control. So that's all. I hope my testimony will help someone. And I just wanted to share that. I was kind of skeptical about doing this video because of the medical field, the taboo of using herbs, or just the embarrassment about my skin. So I know someone is probably going through the same thing I'm going through, and hopefully this video will help. So y'all have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.